We're speaking with Rob Friend at the mulch store. Rob, once people have finished up trimming those trees or raking those leaves, how easy is it for them to stop in at the mulch store to drop off those materials, or maybe even pick up some mulch for next year?
Well, if you want to stop in and drop off, you come in, check in at the gate attendant, and they'll point you in the right direction after you pay a small fee. And if you're ready to pick up something to do a final garden or mulch project, pick out the product you want, pay for the fee, and we'll load up a trailer or a pickup truck if you have that. If not, we do have delivery available.
And of course, you guys have locations all over the metro area.
That's right. For locations and more information on delivery, you can check us out at our website, mulchstoremn.com.
$37 to the winner.
During the second half, Eden Prairie's offense will take the field following this kickoff from Eastview, finding themselves trailing by a score of 7-6. Some scores from around the Twin Cities Metro. Egan on top of Wayzata by a score of 10-7. That one perhaps just as surprising as this one. Wayzata preseason ranked in the top 10, currently ranked at number 9, and perennial power over in the Lake Conference as well. And Erdman, the quarterback for Rosemount, is continuing to shine in this 2014 campaign. He has 2 touchdown passes. They have flags fly on the kickoff. Erdman had 3 touchdown passes last week in the victory over Eastview and has 2 before halftime. It's 14-0 Rosemount, and perhaps the biggest game of the week, taking on South Suburban foe Prairie Lake.
Quite a surprise here in Eastview and really everywhere. Who was expecting Egan to have the lead on Wayzata, Eastview to be leading Eden Prairie, Cretin-Durham Hall with a momentary lead over East Ridge, but South Suburban Conference representing, leading the 2 best teams in the Lake Conference thus far on this Friday evening.
Sean Ryan will put it in play following the 5-yard penalty.
5-yard penalty. And we have the re-kick. Deep to receive is Spielman, looking for some running room this time. Again goes right. Not finding any blockers. Cuts it back, still on his feet. One man to beat. He's got him, but he's slowed down. Good job slowing down. Spielman on the return. Otherwise, he was going to go in for 6. A great return by Spielman. We see him so often able to stop and start on a moment's notice. And even when there isn't anything available, very patient, looking for those cutback lanes. And in a rare occasion tonight, he got one, and returning it out to the 47, a turn of about 42 yards.
Yeah, he has certainly been a very dangerous man in the return game for Eden Prairie, giving them a good field position here to start this second half.
Now the handoff goes Raines. He'll try to cut it back middle, angling his way to the midfield's 50-yard line. A gain of about 3 in this contest. Raines, just one big run. That was his first carry of the game for 14 yards. Since then, a lot of 3- and 4-yard carries. Again, a credit to the Lightning front. 2nd and 7. Early on in this second half, Gillard back under center. He and Ossie have rotated possessions. Bilal Omar is out in open space. 44 trying to track him down. Omar pushed out of bounds just shy of pay dirt. A great burst of speed and energy for the Eden Prairie Eagles coming out of the gates.
Omar out near the 5-yard line.
Right. Interesting to hear what the coaching staff said to them at halftime as they've come out here with a sense of urgency with a couple of big plays as Bilal Omar very close to taking the house, pushed out of bounds inside the 5-yard line.
LaRon Norton, the last man to beat, took a good angle on the speedster. I was able to shove Omar out of bounds at the 5. A gain of 45 though. 3rd time in this game now Eden Prairie has had 1st and goal. 4th time they've been in the red zone, but they have just 1 touchdown. We'll see how they fare this time around. Stuffed right at the line of scrimmage, the running back, Omar, or Raines rather. And it's a gain maybe back to the line of scrimmage, half yard at best.
Very great atmosphere here at Eastview High School. This crowd completely full. Eden Prairie also bringing a good contingent of fans. Some people also watching from outside here, the concession stands, making for a great atmosphere.
And on the quarterback keeper, Gillard finds Pater again. The same play as he scored on the first series of the game for the Eagles. Runs naked out to the weak side, and the Eastview Lightning caught off guard. Eden Prairie reclaims the lead, 12-7 now.
The second time that's happened, as Gillard easily taking it outside, taking advantage of his speed, not even having to break a sweat to get into the end zone. Big response there for the Eagles. They certainly needed that after going into halftime almost shell-shocked, trailing 7-6, but they're on the scoreboard here in half number 2.
Going for 2. Gillard, good pressure, rolls out. Spinning away from 1, still on his feet, but finally dragged down by the linebacker. Number 42, Casey Dravis.
10:25 to go.
2-point conversion, no good.
Eastview 7.
The score, an odd one now at 12-7.
Wrapped up by Travis on the
a good response there for EP. We'll see what their defense can do here against the Lightning, and Eastview having some success going to the outside. It's kind of sounding like a broken record saying that, but we'll have to see if they continue that strategy, or maybe Eden Prairie moves their linebackers a little bit more towards the outside, has the corners. Perhaps gamble a little bit more on the run. Eastview hasn't done a whole lot through the passing game so far in this one, but this will be a very, very fascinating drive coming up for the Lightning.
Hold the kickoff.
As well as the Lightning have played now, finding themselves trailing by 5 points. And while the offense has moved the football as well, it took some trickery to actually get into the end zone against this front line defense of the Eagles. Another illegal procedure kick. This kickoff right formation has not worked very well this year for Eden Prairie. Now, Gould's kickoff and field goal extra point specialist has now got 4 illegal procedure penalties against him.
It's not a number you want to see, as this will give the Lightning very good field position, and that's exactly what they need.
Procedure penalty on the kickoff.
Start near midfield, see if they can get a response.
15-yard penalty from where the ball went out of bounds.
First
spotted at the 35.
From the 35, first time we see this Lightning attack in the second half after a very thrilling halftime performance from the marching band, dance team as well. Devitt to Hutzel, and he'll be swallowed. Good pursuit. Carter Coughlin, Scott McNeil, J.D. Spielman, and Jake Halverson in on the stop.
Hutzel.
All 4 of those names stars and performers last season in that championship squad as well. Some of the returning stars. Some new names as well on defense that have made a splash in 2014. Second down and 9 following that 1-yard run from Hutzel.
Not going to find a lot of room in that interior defensive line. We'll see what they do here.
Play action under pressure. Bill Coop in on the sack. A loss of, they'll say 10 yards, and they marked forward progress, but it was a huge drop in the backfield. The Eagles' defense seems more energized too. We saw the offense come out and score 6 on their first drive. Like you said, Brett, wonder what was said at halftime. Or maybe nothing was said, and it made everyone so scared that they figured they better perform in the second half.
Right, Bill Coop, a good job to get around the blocks. Really had the Eastview line in a kind of an awkward position where they could only push him in the back, and Coop easily were able to get around and get a huge, huge sack. 3rd and 20.
Inside handoff to Hutzel. He's getting to the outside. He beat Blake Cashman there, and he's very near a first down. What a run on 3rd down and a mile from the senior tailback.
just what it looks like. The Eagles are ready to assert themselves, getting a touchdown and forcing a third and a mile. Here comes the Lightning, making it 4th and short, and now you have a very, very interesting decision
roughly 2 yards.
coming up for Eastview. What do you do here? Do you think about going for it? I think so when you're trying to slug it out here against the 3-time defending state champs.
Well, after a run just like that from Hutzel, why not go for it? McDevitt under center. The offense is out on the field. They run middle, and a great stop initially by Connor Novak-Gore trying to fight his way toward the marker. It's going to be awfully close.
Second effort getting that first down. You were right. They absolutely had him stopped behind that first down, but fighting, able to pick up that first down.
What a second effort by Hutzel. Until your knees down, until you hear the whistle, keep plowing ahead. And Hutzel did just enough to move the chains and prevent the turnover on downs. New set at the 46. Marching left to right, 8:35 to play, trailing by 5 in the third quarter. Pass quick out to the outside. Hutzel with the catch, a shot to the head. J.D. Spielman. Fans over here on Eastview wanted to call again. There's new rules in the NMSHSL. You can't hit the helmet, and that would have been a classic example of calling the penalty, but it looked like it was just simply missed as it was away from the officials.
I have an email to pass along to you. Carl Nemechek emailing us saying they're happy to watch the Eagles play football even if they're behind, and saying hopefully they won't have the dropouts on the broadcast happen as much as in the first half. Do apologize for that. Internet connection not quite as strong here as Apple Valley as we're used to, but trying to work through that. Should be good to go here in the second half with no problems.
McDevitt, handoff to the up back and not getting anywhere. Good rush there from the interior linemen of the Eagles, Halverson, Novak-Gore, Scott McNeil in on the stop. 3rd down and 6. We'll call it a 1-yard gain.
Head out to midfield. No gain. 3rd and 6.
Hutzel, a lone tailback. Behind McDevitt, 2 wide receivers split out far side. Hutzel drops back, steps up in the pocket, off and running, 1st down and more. Cashman in on the stop. McDevitt does a nice job letting the pass rush come around him, opens up a hole. The linebacker vacates the spot, and Hutzel has an easy time picking up the 1st down. A gain of 9.
Not only is Eastview getting a few first downs, but there's also giving their defense a chance to rest. One of the concerns we had for the Lightnings trying to stay in this game was, would they have the depth to stay with this, a very deep Eden Prairie team? And certainly a long drive like this will go a long way to keeping your team in this ball game and even possibly win.
Devitt, man in motion, number 12, Jack Schleichman. Pitch out to Hutzel, stutter stepping, plowing ahead and taking down Blake Cashman with a head of steam, and steps out of bounds. Another 1st down run for the tailback. He's been on fire since the slow start.
Eden Prairie just has to find something to do here, Kevin, to stop these outside runs. They have just not had an answer for Eastview when they've gone to the outside. I'm at a loss for what you even do here defensively, strategically, Kevin, to try to slow these Lightning running backs down when they get out.
Hutzel's just 5'11", 180, but he runs like a tank at times. Just bearing down on some of these EP guys. Now going straight up the gut and finding a bit of space before he's finally wrestled down by number 36 defensively, Spencer Stoltz.
With the lead block on the 1st down carry.
Another 1st down gain, this time
1st down.
About 6 yards. They're getting great push from their offensive line, which I would say is not oversized compared to the defensive front of the Eagles, but done a nice job challenging them. Big hole opens up for Hutzel, and he's got another Lightning 1st down as he snakes his way to the near sideline. Just between the sideline and the numbers. Down at the 16, a gain of about 10 and a half.
Ball spotted near the...
I think about the only team I've seen run the ball against Eden Prairie like this was maybe Wayzata a few years ago in a state championship game that these two teams played, or maybe it was a semifinal. Either way, it was the last time I think Eden Prairie lost a postseason game, but yeah, the Lightning are just winning everything up front right now.
Another run to Hutzel. It's been a bell cow on this one again. Not very big, but got Energizer Bunny energy down to the 10-yard line. Another gain of 6. Setting up second and manageable. We've seen time and time again on this drive, and ever since the second offensive series of the game for the Lightning, good yardage on first down, and just generally speaking, if you can pick up good chunks of yardage on first down, it's going to go a long way to helping your cause. And one, keeping the opposing team's offense off the field, getting your defense rest, but also scoring points. Hutzel this time tripped up. One of his linemen kind of awkwardly fell. Good job pushing up on the line of scrimmage there by Connor Novak-Gore. And that'll be a minimal gain.
Hutzel down near the 10-yard line.
Replay, as you're right, yeah. The lineman, as he was falling down, his back hit the running back, Hutzel, and it stopped his progress. It looked like he was ready to go for another 4 or 5 yard gain, but a tough break there for the Lightning, and a big break for Eden Prairie to force 3rd and 5. Here, Eastview, pitch it outside. Why not? It's worked all night.
Two wide receivers out to the left. The motion man, Chris Cook, the tight end. He sets in the backfield. Great pursuit by Coughlin, the senior linebacker. A D1 prospect comes in, busts that up, and sends Eastview backward.
I hate to play Monday morning quarterback, but I'm not a big fan of that play call. I think they were trying to bounce it outside, but initially they were trying to go in, as you can see there on the replay. Just a slow developing play. And
4th and 8.
Boy, 3rd and 5, just pitch it outside. Eden Prairie's had no answer for that play. Now it sets up 4th and 8, where you possibly have to put the ball in the air if you're the Lightning.
As Brett said, 4th down and 8. You're watching PSP Media. Opportunity for a defensive stand for Eden Prairie. McDevitt rolls out left, looks back right. He's got his open man, Cook, the tight end, vying for the first down marker. Looks like he picks it up. Going back to the weak side, Stoltz on the stop, but a little late reacting to it by the Eagles defense. What a play call. Kind of an awkward setup, but it was executed.
Take a look at the quarterback here doing a 360 spin and throwing a screen play. Not exactly the way you draw it up for your quarterback to do an inadvertent 360, but hey, it works out. That's almost Brett Favre style.
Now the screen, the unconventional screen to the tight end Cook, gets that big first down. Lightning must have tons of adrenaline pumping through them. They're playing very well and executing at a high clip. 2nd down and goal now from the 5 after a no-gain run from Hutzel. He's now up to 19 carries in the contest. Near 100 yards. I can tally that at the next break. 3:32 and counting as Cook again, the man in motion, sets on that left side. A sweep goes to that side. Hutzel slips through 2 tackles, wiggles his way, and weaves down to the 2 or 3 yard line. A short gain and did a lot of running to just pick up a couple.
You get the feeling here. I'm going to go ahead and make a prediction. We're going to have 4th and 1. 4th and goal from the 1 yard line, I should say, and I think that's pretty much going to be the game right here. You get the feeling that just with the way this game is going right here, that we're probably going to get a stop near the 1 yard line and get that play which really decides things late here in the 3rd quarter, I should say.
So you're calling an EP stop here?
Yes, at the 1 yard line. That's my call.
3rd down and goal from the 4. See if Brett's forecasting abilities come into play. McDevitt rolls out under pressure. Open man! And the touchdown is scored. Reclaiming the lead, the Eastview Lightning on the short touchdown pass to number 8, Trey Phillips, the 265-pound fullback, comes up big.
Touchdown Lightning!
Great job to roll out to that right side. Had all sorts of time to throw. Able to find his man in the middle of the field in the soft spot in that coverage for a touchdown. Well-designed play. And Eastview is back on top. What a game we've seen so far.
Buying enough time. Again, the rush couldn't quite get to McDevitt. He's not a great runner in terms of rushing yards, but he's shifty enough to buy enough time. And credit Trey Phillips as they go for two. Trying another wide receiver running back option, and it's converted. A man just running across the line of scrimmage and throwing it. Trey Johnson converts it over to the far side to a wide open McDevitt, the quarterback, moves from his quarterback position and receives that two-point conversion. It's now a 4-point lead, so Eden Prairie needs a touchdown to reclaim the advantage, no tie opportunity, or rather 15-12, so now a field goal would tie, but big two-point conversion nonetheless for the Eastview Lightning on some trickery again.
And while Kevin tabulates the stats, I'd like to remind you that if you're enjoying tonight's broadcast, you can also watch at the Tavern on 4 and 5 as they're showing all of our PSB broadcasts of Eden Prairie football and hockey on the big screens over at the Tavern on 4 and 5. Get some great food and watch Eden Prairie football, a tremendous experience. If you've been to the Tavern on 4 and 5, you have to check it out. It's where the old Timberlodge Steakhouse used to be, just blocks from the high school. Again, that's the Tavern on 4 and 5. Check out their menu online, tavern4and5.com. As Kevin mentioned earlier, delicious breakfast. Had a chance to get some delicious scrambled eggs for breakfast as well as potatoes, which were absolutely delicious. Again, check that out, Tavern on 4 and 5, showing broadcasts of Eden Prairie football all season long. And also the Mulch Store brings you coverage of tonight's game as well. If you're doing those yard projects, you can drop off that yard waste at the Mulch Store.
25, Sean Ryan.
Also help that waste turn into compost for next season. MulchStoreMN.com for those locations all over the metro area. That
65-yard touchdown drive, spans almost 5 minutes as J.D. Spearman again breaking through. One man can't make the tackle. He'll be slowed down and pushed out of bounds. Across midfield, out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. Again, does not need much space to break one.
Well, I think we've had some strategies become clear in this game for both squads. If you're the Eden Prairie Eagles, they'll stop the Lightning from running it outside. And, well, if you're Eastview, quit kicking it to J.D. Spielman. That's been Eden Prairie's best play.
So after a return of about 42, this unofficial stat by my observation, on the opening return of the second half, now a 51-yard kickoff return from Spielman sets up 1st and 10 for the Eagles offense at the 44 of the Lightning. Gillard remains the quarterback. We saw that rotation at the position in the first half, and Raines barrels ahead for about 9.
Will Raines making his return to Eastview High School, where he was the featured back for the past few seasons. I believe he rushed for over 1,400 yards last season, and his former mates certainly keeping him in check. We'll see if Kevin can get you his official stats in the game so far, but I have to wonder if perhaps playing with Will Raines for so many years, a lot of these defenders know his tendencies and have taken advantage of that.
Tries to hurdle. That's a dangerous play, able to pick up the first down, but leaving yourself exposed like that, someone could get a helmet in there and jar the ball loose. Raines able to move the chains. He got very elevated on that play, almost up on the shoulder pads of one of the Lightning tacklers.
Normally you don't see that play until you get close to the goal line, but Will Raines electing to go over the top on 2nd and 1, perhaps feeling the urgency as, well, the guy's got a pretty good vertical as I see here on replay.
Raines, you were asking about those stats. 16 carries now, 68 yards, so a little better than 4 yards a tote. He's going to do better on that average as he sidesteps a defender and falls down at about the 20-yard line.
Pitch to Raines.
Gain of about 13.
Carries down near the 20-yard line. First down.
Coming up for Eden Prairie next Friday nights, homecoming week at Erie against Osseo Eastview. They'll go back to their conference schedule, travel down to Lakeville South for a good matchup there. 1:04 and counting in the third quarter. Rains again, the carrier, tries that high hurdle and does not gain much.
Pitch to Rains down to the 18.
So we're talking about his pad level being a little bit higher in this game. In some ways, the Lightning keeping him more upright, and he's like, well, to heck with it. If you're going to keep my pad level high, I might as well get my feet high as well.
That's about the third time he's huddled so far in this drive. He's gotten some success with it as he has the Eagles in the red zone.
Gillard takes the handoff. Just going to run it to the near side. Stopped just shy. They're going to give him progress just past the first down marker. Thought he was just shy of it as he stepped out, but another good run from the quarterback. Good athlete, basketball player.
Inside the 10.
Sought after.
First and goal.
Pretty heavily for his basketball skills. Showing off his running ability there.
A lot of multi-sport athletes on this EP team. Talking about Grantham Gillard, an excellent basketball player. Blake Cashman, also a basketball player on the Eden Prairie team. Jeff Athey, good baseball player. So these guys not shy to playing multiple sports.
Yeah, that's less and less heard of as Rains falls ahead very near the goal line.
Rains down to the 3-yard line.
Seemed like a typical run, but he was able to find some space up the middle there and press a couple defenders, drag them along for an extra 2.
That's the final play of the third
First
quarter.
and goal when we start the fourth quarter. 15-12. Eastview has the advantage following that most recent touchdown pass, McDevitt, to Trey Phillips. Keep it right here as you're watching PSB Media. Again, I'd like to remind you of some of our sponsors, including Noodles & Company. Did you know they now have catering? And they have home delivery available, so Vikings game, for instance, coming up on Sunday. Want to stay home and watch? We'll order noodles in. They have a noodles bar as well. It features items needed for your event and your guests in case you do have people over to watch the Vikings take on the St. Louis Rams. Any more information you need about the catering and the noodles bar is available at noodles.com/catering.
Well, speaking of the Vikings, I like their chances against the Rams coming up on Sunday. Of course, no Sam Bradford, so I think the Vikes would have a pretty good chance facing a former quarterback that was on their team, Sean Hill, who will be starting for St. Louis. What do you think about that one? You like the Vikings' chances?
I like their chances, but I'd say the St. Louis Rams are better defensively than maybe Matt Castle is offensively. And Sean Hill, if you remember that epic victory for Minnesota, Brett Favre to I forget the receiver's name in the back of the end zone, but Sean Hill was a starter for San Francisco back then, and he torched the Vikings D.
Oh. In
So
years past, that wasn't a hard thing to do.
Second down and 3 from the 3. The run up the middle in for pay dirt is Will Raines, scoring against his former team and giving the Eagles the lead back.
Yeah, Will Raines getting in the end zone for the first time, putting them up 18-15.
Touchdown, Eagles.
Nothing real fancy there from Raines, just going straight up the gut and plowing his way into the end zone. Good response here by the EP offensive unit. Now the pressure is going to be on the defense to see if they can hold the Lightning, who have found all sorts of success here against EP.
And a big extra point try by Gould. This one gets off cleanly, and he pushes it between the uprights. Hurts. His first attempt was blocked. So 19-15 now the score in favor of the 3-time defending champs as you're watching PSB Media.
Kendall, Shannon,
in the game, Will Raines following that touchdown run. 19 carries.
Alyssa, Megan, Alexis and Michaela.
For 86 yards now. Bilal Omar has been dynamite, but hasn't had too many carries in the game. 6 carries. And I'll add that math up for you in just a moment as we prepare for the kickoff. .93 yards on the ground for Omar on 6 carries. He came into the contest 7 carries for 68 yards, so he's averaging well over 10 yards per carry as Gould prepares to kick off. Also have a couple of informational notes to pass along to you about that Eastridge Cretin-Durham Hall game when I have a moment. This kickoff is caught by Johnson. He'll be hit almost immediately before the 20-yard line. Good coverage there by special teamer number 28, Mark Reschman, the 6'1 junior defensive back.
Well, you were recommending earlier that perhaps Eden Prairie stops kicking it off from the right hash mark, but this time it works out for them, pinning Eastview back at their own 20-yard line and forcing them to go 80 yards. But, of course, that wasn't a problem for them last time, methodically moving their way down the field without much resistance.
Seth Green has another touchdown pass to junior wide receiver Jatil Klein. So they missed on the extra point. It's now 13-7 Eastridge over Cretin-Durham Hall. Run to the outside. Hutzel burning through this EP defense as a first down and more into the thick of the Eden Prairie sideline. Down and pushed out at about the 37-yard line.
Boy, they've got to find a way to try to bottle him up before he's able to kick that outside. This time the defensive line for Eden Prairie can't quite get a hand on him before he's able to bust it outside. They did have a chance to get to him while he was still in the interior part, but once he kicked it outside, turns on those jets, he's able to get that first down.
Not sure what Hutzel's career high numbers for rushing yards are, but this might be close. As he's going to drop back to pass this one, he overthrows everybody. Closest man almost made a play on it was Matt Carson, trying to make that over-the-shoulder grab. He's now got 21 carries, good for 131 yards, and is now 1 for 2 passing as that one well off the mark.
You wonder if he may have been a quarterback back in his youth days, as they've tried that play 3 times. Didn't they also try one on the conversion and get it to work? So I guess fool me once, fool me twice. Can't fool Eden Prairie 3 times on that play, as they were ready for that one and nearly had it intercepted.
So 2nd down and 10 from the 32. And the run goes middle. And nothing really doing in that interior line. We've seen Stoltz make a couple of tackles tonight.
Yeah, not a lot of room at all. Again, trying to go north-south, which hasn't been there at all for this running game. And I still think you got to pitch that outside when you're in 2nd and long like that, because now you again set up a 3rd and 8 situation where you're going to have to put the ball in the air. Last time they were in 3rd and long, they were able to drop a screen to pick up a first down, but not sure if you can fool his defense twice doing that.
Fakes the handoff. McDevitt wide open. Cook could have picked up the first down, ran backward though, and it's going to be 4th down and short. So a mental error there by Cook. Tried to run toward his sideline, had plenty of space to run, as the coverage was not along that seam where he caught the football.
Boy, they're going to give him a good spot, I think, though. Let's see. You'll see it here on replay, as he clearly had the first down by about a yard, but decided to pick up a little bit more yardage, maybe getting a little too over-anxious looking upfield, and he actually lost an extra yard, but the officials look like they're going to give him a pretty good spot. Let's see if Krister can lower that camera a little bit and take a look at that spot. Yeah, here's a look. And, oh, man, this one looks like it's going to be short by about
couple inches.
Yeah, exactly. You got to go for it here if you're the Eastview Lightning. 4th and less than a yard. It is a risky call, but you have to do it. As we see that camera zoomed in, you can see how close that is. Oh my. That's what, Kevin, you're looking through the lens right now. Is that maybe 2-3 inches?
Look, maybe more like a half foot, but yeah, very close. Again, just a mistake there by Cook. Could have easily picked it up on that cross over the middle. A good catch and good pass play, but fourth down, a huge opportunity for the EP defense. The Lightning offense. We'll see which one wins out. It's Hutzel, and the Lightning spinning his way around a couple of arm tackles almost near midfield. Good run there by the senior.
To the 48-yard
Able
line.
to spin his way forward for that first down. Not a big push by that offensive line, but certainly enough. Can't catch the number of the linebacker there. Looks like Carter Coughlin may have had a chance to try to get a hand on the running back, but couldn't quite do it in that 4th and inches situation.
Dr. Grant Norland simply texts back, wow, when I told him the score over here. So, impressive performance tonight by the Eastview Lightning. Timeout was taken, it appears, by Eastview to call things and slow things down a little bit. There's a flag that was thrown too, so not sure if they're going to get penalized.
Encroachment against Eastview.
Can't be an encroachment penalty against Eastview. PA announcer, that's what he said. Confusing us.
That would be false start, I think.
Must have been a false start, otherwise, yeah, it had to have been a false start. I apologize to the listeners and viewers. I was looking down at my notes when that penalty was called. Hutzel is buried in the backfield. Carter Coughlin in there to smother him, along with number 21, Ben Price, the starting defensive back.
That could end up being a big penalty against Eastview.
2nd and 15.
I think this Eden Prairie defense just has to force some 3rd and long situations and try to get a stop. Of course, the Lightning have converted the last 2 times they've had 3rd and long situations with some great play calls.
2nd down and 15. They'll say no gain on the last one. McDevitt around the blind side. McNeil under pressure. Pass complete across the middle to Johnson, and he's got another Lightning first down.
McDevitt completes the number 23,
What a catch.
Trey Johnson. Pass complete near the 40-yard line of the Eagles. That's the Lightning.
Take a look at that
Touchdown.
catch, jumping way up into the air. Almost went through his hands, was able to get that first down for the Lightning.
17-yard pass completion to Trey Johnson, his 2nd catch of the year. Had 1 for 7 yards last week. This one far bigger, more impactful. Great job getting up there and moving the chains for this Lightning team. McDevitt steps up in the pocket, stutters. He's going to be dragged down, but positive yardage gained by the quarterback.
Dangerous play, too, because he had a defender pursuing from behind, and you always get nervous in that situation, thinking possibly about a strip. You'll take a look at here on replay. Always got to be careful with that when you have a quarterback going up against about 5 defenders, since nowadays in football you're taught to go for that football and try to force that fumble.
Not a good sign to see a downed Eden Prairie player. Here the 45-yard line being attended to. Left or right leg appears to be out of sorts.
Yeah, can you catch that number, who that is? I'm not finding it myself.
I'm not going to guess, but
yeah.
It doesn't appear to be one of the defensive linemen, because I'm accounting for most of them over on that huddle.
Yeah, hopefully he's all right. Is that? Yeah, it's not good injury. They're really tending to him right now. So here we are, 19-15, Eden Prairie on top of Eastview with 8:34 to go here in the 4th quarter. And with the way both offenses are moving the ball, you kind of get the feeling that this might be one of those games where the last team to touch the ball wins, like you see a lot today in the NFL. And that'll make things interesting if you get in a 2-minute situation, because even though both teams have been able to move the football, they haven't exactly done it with big plays. I know you have the stats over there. I'm thinking that nobody has a gain of over 20 yards, certainly not over 30. So,
well, you forget the first play from the start of the second half.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That's the only bigger play than 30, and then that Hutzel touchdown to Ibeneme was for 30 yards.
It's not the type of game where you've seen 70-yard touchdowns and like a tennis match going back to back.
Yeah, I agree with you. The majority of the plays have been between 4 and about 10 yards.
Mm-hmm. And we just heard that was Connor Novak Gore who suffered that injury, and hopefully he's all right. He's a very good lineman for this squad and getting some help off the field.
Yeah, he's not putting any pressure down on that left leg, so not a good sign if you're Connor Novak Gore. Hopefully the injury is not too serious. But right now he will not be in the game. One of the big run stoppers and space eaters in the middle of this Eden Prairie line. You know, Eden Prairie has a lot of rostered players, so it's an opportunity for the next man in to step up and make some plays. Now some of the experience going to Ibrahim on the interior to try to lead that unit, and here he is getting into the backfield but can't make the tackle. Hutzel is very shifty tonight. Blake Cashman forced to just grab a wadded jersey and try to sling him out of bounds, but should be another Eastview first down, and it is.
Great tackle, Tommy Anderson. Key block for the first down. Hutzel carries to the 30.
It's been one of those games where you've seen some unusual things where the Eagles just can't quite make that tackle on the interior part of that line, and boy, once he bounces it outside, we've said it again and again and again, he's just been unstoppable.
143 yards on the ground for Hutzel on 25 carries. A lot of work in it for him tonight. Bill Coop this time meets him behind the line of scrimmage and says, let's reduce that yard total here.
Yeah. You got to look at there at Mike Grant. No sense of panic on his side, as he's certainly played in these types of games before.
2nd and 1.
But for a lot of these guys, it is the first time they've been in this close of a game, this late in a game. Last year, the closest victory, I think, was 14 points. Maybe my memory is off.
Well, yeah, they beat Prior Lake 35-21, but if you remember that game, it was really 35-7 until Prior Lake had a couple of very late touchdowns inside the 2-minute warning. I think they even scored one on an onside kick.
Yeah.
So that score very deceiving. You're absolutely right, though. A lot of these guys have not played in any down-to-the-wire games. I do believe in 2012 they may have had a couple of close matchups, but certainly not last season.
2012, they were shut out by either Wayzata or Edina, right? Wasn't it 7-0?
Yeah. Of course, Edina also beat them that year as well.
Yeah. So they've been in close games before as a program, obviously, but it's been a while, possibly for the majority of these players out on the field. Up by just 4, inside a 7.5 to play. 2nd down and 16, following a 1-yard tackle for a loss, then a penalty, and now flags fly again. Eastview's offense is going backwards. Back-to-back false start penalties. Their 3rd and 4th penalties of the game, putting them in a little bit of a dilemma.
Yeah, you can't afford to take a penalty like that. Now you make it 2nd and a very, very long 21. They've had some magic in these long yardage situations, but you wonder how long they can keep rubbing that 4-leaf clover and picking up clutch first downs in long yardage situations.
2nd down and 21. McDevitt drops back in the pocket under duress, able to beat the initial pressure, runs for more. Cashman tries to wrestle him down, gets the help from Price. And the ball will be spotted back near the original line of scrimmage. But again, number 10, the quarterback, somehow avoiding the rush when guys are flying at him, flailing at him, and getting their hands on him. He's not going down.
think coming up this week in practice for Eden Prairie, they're going to be practicing their tackling. It was funny, before the game I was talking about how well they've been tackling thus far this season, but it's certainly not been sound tonight with a lot of missed tackles for EP.
So 3rd down and 10. Play action. Throws it deep. Has a man with the step, but it goes out of the end zone. Threw it too far for his intended target. Chris Cook, the tight end, running a fly route on the near side.
Well, it looked to me like there was some early motion on that play. There most certainly was. Lightning lucky they didn't get called for a false start, trying to go deep into the end zone. That's a tough play for the quarterback to throw that over 45 yards. Again, the receiver had a step, but couldn't quite catch up to it. That one looked like it was going out of the end zone anyways.
And there's still some time, but this could be the difference in the game. 4th down and 10, Eastview. From the EP 30-yard line, trailing by 4. And flags fly.
This time they may have caught him with that early motion. Again, last play I thought they were lucky not to get that false start.
And another false start. You called it correctly, Mr. Johnson. 4th down and 15 now from the 35-yard line. This was a 2nd down and 10 play, or 1st down and 10 rather. At the 30-yard line, Bill Coop stopped Hutzel for a 1-yard loss. The team, the Lightning that is, have been going backward really ever since. Good jump by EP. Man open, ball is deflected by Bill Coop as Chris Cook had some space to run. A penalty marker, though, is down on the near sideline. Eden Prairie rather down in the middle of the field. Eden Prairie celebrating. Eastview was hoping it was against the Eagles, but based on the celebration by Eden Prairie, it appears like it was a hold, and it was a hold against the Lightning. Great job in coverage by Bill Coop. He was the star on this last series. The tackle for the loss, and then the pass breakup to turn it over on downs for the Lightning.
I was get a kick of how optimistic the fans can be in that situation. As soon as they see the flag fly, they start cheering, maybe hoping for a late hit, but indeed it was that holding call. And well, you think it's going to be in the hands of Will Raines in this situation here to see if he can close this game out. Knowing how much adrenaline he would have to salt the clock away against his old team.
Raines hops forward past the line of scrimmage, a gain of 1 or 2. We'll call it 2. His 20th carry of the game gives him 88 yards. Yet to break the century mark with the Eagles. Did that plenty while in a Lightning uniform. Again, the volume not there the first 2 games of the season. It is here tonight. But the Lightning doing a great job containing him.
1 yard gain,
limiting him to about 4.4 yards per carry.
Quick score update for you. Jefferson on top of Coon Rapids in another game. We're doing 18-6 in the 3rd quarter.
Lal Omar injects some energy into the lifeblood of the Eagles. Getting near the 1st down marker.
Omar on the carry for the
to
Eagles.
The 41-yard line. They will give a poor spot on Omar's run. Thought he was more at the 43. Say, in actuality, down at the 41. So 3rd down in medium distance, 3rd down and 4, following that 5-yard scamper. This is a big play now for the Lightning defense.
You can hear the crowd moving, our camera shaking as you can see with the noise here in this crowd.
Handoff, Raines pushes his way ahead for a 1st down. Just lowered the shoulder and blasted the initial pursuer, number 42, Dravis. And picks up a much-needed 1st down to continue to move the chains and burn clock. With a very tight game right here at Eastview High School. Already feels like fall. Very chilly and windy. Supposed to see temperatures in the 50s next week, which is depressing for me because I don't like summer disappearing this quickly. I'd like it to wait at least till the end of September. 4:11 left in the game. 1st and 10 from the EP 47. The false start called. Our flag is thrown, and it will be a false start. I was prematurely calling the false start, but either way, it was assessed to Eden Prairie.
Well, I think if I'm trying to do some math in my head, I think
1st and 15.
Eastview could afford to give up 2, maybe 3 more first downs before EP could conceivably salt away the clock, depending on how quickly they got those first downs. But certainly, it can't allow much more yardage than you already have so far. If you're the Lightning defense, got to get a stop.
Roll out to the left side, Gillard. Stutters his way over to the EP sideline, back to the original line of scrimmage, maybe a little bit further. He's now got 5 rushes in the game for 32 yards.
Give him 6 on the play, 2nd and 9.
Seen that play a number of times from Gillard. Able to get outside. He's had 2 touchdowns on that play to be exact. Able to get a gain of about 5 or 6 yards and make things more manageable here for the offense.
2nd down and 9 from the 48. Gillard, the handoff, Omar. The inches way ahead, cross midfield. And set up a 3rd down and about 5.
Eastview starting to play that
spends its first time
game where you have to start fighting the clock as they call their first timeout here of the second half. Give them credit for not having to use any timeouts before this point. Sometimes you see in high school football or really any level, you get to this situation and you have none or maybe just 1 timeout to work with, but it'll certainly help extend this game for the Lightning. And 3rd and, well, maybe call it 5, possibly 6 yards. You have to think if you're EP, maybe try to go up the middle one more time with Will Raines having some success with that straightforward running game, or perhaps you run some kind of play action and roll Gillard to the outside. That play's worked a number of times. Interesting to see what Coach Mike Grant draws up here in this situation, and to see how the defense, if Eastview elects to play this, if they go with a blitz or maybe stay at home or try to crowd that defensive line. A lot of strategy.
Well, you figure the run is going to be middle, but obviously there's the outside chance that Gillard keeps it himself. Everything not in the hands of Gillard in this second half has been up the gut. Inside handoffs, dive plays. Big 3rd down and 6 from the 49-yard line. And Gillard rolls out, throws behind his intended target. What great pursuit there and recognition by Marquez Jenkins. He has a sack in this game, and it's 4th down and 6. What a stop by the Lightning.
Well, that was one of the play calls I thought they might do, which was the rollout to the outside, but excellent job to hang with Gillard on that play and to force him into a tough throw with some contact coming. Would have been a very difficult throw to make that completion, and now McNeil will punt, and the Lightning here with 2 timeouts and 3:24 certainly have plenty of time to work with.
Indeed, a huge defensive stand there. And the punt, can it be spotted? Just out of the reach by the gunner. Otherwise, that would have been a heck of an uphill climb for the Lightning to overcome. Instead, they're fortunate the ball had 1 extra bounce in its life. It'd be a touchback rather than 1st and 10, Lightning from inside their 5.
That is a definition of a bounce going your way. Take a look at that one more time here on our replay, getting that 1 extra bounce. Otherwise, Eastview would have been looking at going 99.5 yards.
Racing up to the line. Devitt under center. He's been outstanding as a game manager tonight. Hands it off to Hutzel. And he'll be tripped up just past the line of scrimmage. Stoltz, J.D. Spielman in on the stop. Clock ticking away. 2:56 and counting.
One of the rare times this half where Eastview's started to run inside, then tried to bounce it out. This time, for the first time in the half, I think Eden Prairie able to read that play and stop that before they were able to kick it out.
Flags fly again. Another false start penalty on the Lightning.
They got to get that straightened out.
Can't get their offensive unit set, and it's killing them right now.
Yeah, they went. Well, if you didn't count those penalties, they would have been close to the goal line on that last drive, and yeah, you just can't have those mental mistakes of false starts. It's one thing if you get a hold or maybe a block in the back during the play, but you know, those pre-snap penalties will just drive a coaching staff crazy, especially in a game situation like this.
2:32. Clock ticking away. 2nd and 13. McDevitt steps up in the pocket. Room to run. Still on his feet. Be pushed down by a myriad of EP defenders leading the charge. Jake Halverson at the 25-yard line. Call it a gain of 8 and setting up 3rd and 5 approximately.
Ball near the 25-yard line.
They're getting a decent gain there as we'll make a 3rd and at least a manageable situation here. As again, I'd still go to that pitch outside if you're the Lightning. That's been your bread and butter in this half.
3 wide receivers set. Hutzel, lone member in the backfield. Quick pass to the outside. Obeme catches it. But a good ankle tackle by the smaller Price prevents a bigger gain and from allowing the receiver to get out of bounds. Granted, the clock stops when the chains move. So 1:46 left in this game, and a new set of downs for the Lightning.
What a game.
More than what we could have asked for. McDevitt loses his footing, and a sack going to be credited to that next man in. We talked about it. Connor Novak-Gore out with the injury. Dylan Warner comes in and is credited with the sack.
Clock ticking. Eastview, well, now we're starting to get a little bit more of a hurry-up offense.
Under pressure again, able to step it up, flings it near sideline, reaching up and making the catch, but he's out of bounds.
Yep.
Is Ibeneme.
Yeah, that's a good call by the referee, having a pretty good look at it.
What a great catch, great coordination, but the pass just led it too far to the sideline, out of bounds. Fans don't like it, but it was the correct call.
Well, we do have one look at it here. That looked like it was pretty clearly to me out of bounds. You be the judge as you get a look at it here on our replay system. Hopefully our scoreboard not quite in the way. Now you can get a good look at it. Yeah, clearly his left foot out of bounds.
His left foot at best was on the inside of the chalk line, and another flag flies.
Oh. Boy, if this is another illegal procedure, false start, just cannot afford to do this, and it looks like they are backing up again. Third and 20. We're talking about how much more magic does this Eastview team have. Only so many times you can go to that well and try to overcome these penalties.
So 3rd down and 20. 1:03 to play. Still a long way to go to score the go-ahead touchdown. Hutzel will try to get a big chunk of it back, and it's not going to be enough. Good stop on the outside edge. We've seen the edge coverage. Jeff Athey with the stop there. We've seen this pursuit on the edge by Eden Prairie improve over the last few minutes, and granted, it's certainly aided by knowing the down and distance that the Lightning is facing is more staggering than 1st and 10. It's easier to defend in some ways, but still a credit goes to the Eagles defense there with the stop. 4th down and 14 from the 31-yard line. This is it. Timeout taken by Eastview, trying to draw up another magical play.
Well, let's see what they can draw up. It's a pretty obvious passing situation. I don't know if you maybe dare think about a screen pass and try to catch Eden Prairie off guard, or try something downfield where you haven't had a lot of success. Big play coming up. And this is, as you said, essentially the ball game. 55 seconds. Lightning only with one timeout, so they don't convert here. This one's over. And still some last-second instructions from the Eastview coaching staff.
Carter Coughlin is noticeably limping from his linebacker position, but remains on the field. Middle linebacker for Eden Prairie. He has offers from Minnesota and Pittsburgh. And it looks like a timeout called by the Eagles.
Eastview students, a reminder, the welcome
It's like the basketball play that you used to see where you come out of a timeout, but the defense would want to see what the offense was running. Exactly what Eden Prairie did here. So a little bit of a chess match going on here in 4th and 15.
Well, for Eden Prairie, they have timeouts to spare, so why not do that?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not sure what you really draw up here if you're Eastview. You haven't had a lot of success going down the field. I'm almost thinking, why not try that screen pass and see if you can catch Eden Prairie off guard? Try it to the outside.
We'll see. At the same time, you've got 14 yards to gain, and if you're short, I just hate to draw up a play. Personally, if I were the coach, I'd not want to draw up a play where the pass is shy of the first down, forcing the runner to earn it. But at the same time, Eden Prairie knows where the yard marker is, so.
Well, and you also have the defense for Eden Prairie, which has not been very good at tackling in this game, to consider as well.
You might try to go Cook across the middle of the field, but we'll see how it all unfolds. 55 seconds. This is it. 4th down and 14 for the Lightning from their own 31, trailing by 4. McDevitt looks to throws this one deep. Single coverage on the outside, and it falls incomplete, just out of the outreached arms of the intended wideout. Blake Cashman in on the coverage, and it was pretty solid there from the senior.
Not a bad play call. They had a chance to make that catch, but as you said, just better coverage from Cashman, the DB for Eden Prairie. Again, as you'll see on the replay, a pretty well-thrown ball, putting it in a catchable situation for his receiver, but just excellent coverage there from Eden Prairie standout DB Blake Cashman. I think you take it if you're Eastview in that situation, in that you drew up the play you wanted, got a good pass, had a chance to make it in a long yardage situation, a low percentage situation, but just couldn't quite get it to work out.
Well, also I like the play too, because while you needed 14 yards to get the first down, you got the single coverage on the outside, and you still needed to score a touchdown too, so why not try to gain a big chunk of that yardage? So we see victory formation, Gillard, and
Eastview takes its final timeout.
Matt Week just flies past the line of scrimmage and ends up touching Gillard, who looks kind of confused. He's like, "You're still playing? We're just taking knees."
Well, who was the coach last year for Tampa Bay that was notorious for doing that in victory formation defensively?
Greg Schiano.
Yeah, where he would always have his guys, no matter what, plow through the line, hoping for some kind of miracle fumble.
On the road at Lakeville South.
I know a lot of people criticize that. I don't have a problem with doing that. I mean, the game's on the line. Why not try for a miracle play at that last whistle? I'm not sure what your opinion is on that, of playing hard defense on a kneel-down situation.
I don't mind. When I play Madden, I do it. In the rare occasion I'm losing.
Well, in that situation, you can just switch your controller to the other team and make them punt. That's what I used to do when I was a kid.
I never have switched to the other team.
Yeah.
Maybe I should now. You put an idea in my head. You planted a seed.
Yeah, there you go.
2nd and 13. That was the final timeout, by the way, from Eastview. So the second kneel down should be able to run out the remainder of this clock, as Eden Prairie will extend its winning streak, albeit barely escaping The Eastview Lightning's clutches to 20 games, move their record to 3-0 on the season. Eastview falls to a tough 0-2, but man, they played their hearts out tonight in front of their home crowd after a tough, demoralizing in some ways loss to Rosemount 41-6 last week. Getting it done, but just not quite getting over the top of the number 1 ranked team in state. Eden Prairie victorious 19-15 over Eastview. We'll come back with our post-game show brought to you by the Sun Current.
Don't forget to check in around your
And Eden Prairie wins over Eastview.
Stay current on what's going on in your local community. The Sun Current is a local community newspaper that serves several communities in the Southwest Metro, including Eden Prairie, Edina, and Bloomington. The Sun Current will keep you up to date with the latest comings and goings on your school board, city council, arts and entertainment, and community events. And make sure you check out their in-depth high school sports coverage featuring weekly articles on Eden Prairie, Edina, Jefferson, and Kennedy. From football and hockey to tennis and swimming, the Sun Current has your favorite team covered. Keep it local and visit the Sun Current website at current.mnsun.com.
The Sun Current is proud to be your
Sun Current of Eden Prairie, our post-game sponsor. Remember, you can go to current.mnsun.com to find out all the latest news about Eden Prairie's activities, plus sports, reviews, previews, and highlights from matches such as this one. Again, current.mnsun.com. And boy, this game, I'm going to admit, it surprised me. The outcome surprised me. I thought Eden Prairie, I know Eastview has made it to the state tournament the last couple of years, but they'd graduated a few. They lost Will Raines. He transferred over to Eden Prairie. I didn't think it would be a romp by any means, but I thought Eden Prairie would come out and take care of business. But at halftime, they found themselves trailing 7-6. A well-fought first half by Eastview. They forced that huge fumble on their former running back Raines at the goal line right before halftime, and that allowed the Lightning to preserve their 1-point lead. The touchdown was scored by Gillard for Eden Prairie in the first half, and by Eben Eme for Eastview. And then in the second half, it seemed like Eden Prairie kind of woke up. They got their offense clicking, but it was a big credit to the Lightning offense for matching tit for tat whatever Eastview, or rather whatever Eden Prairie was doing. They traded touchdowns in the third quarter. In the fourth quarter, Eden Prairie got the go-ahead score, a 3-yard plunge from Will Raines, and there were some testy moments in the final 8 or so minutes, and ultimately Eden Prairie was able to secure its 20th straight victory. I think, though, they would probably admit that they survived this game. A lot of the failed executions on that offensive line moving. 4 false start penalties in those 2 crucial drives. The last 2 drives for the Lightning kind of set them back and prevented the upset.
Yeah, definitely a lot of things to practice if you're the EP Eagle squad, including, well, defensively, just some fundamental tackling. And I know part of it was the fact that their past 2 opponents were some overmatched teams where you can kind of get away with selling out on your tackling ability. Against this Eastview team, they certainly couldn't afford to do that. And this is a stiff challenge this team certainly needed after playing 2 overmatched opponents. And they certainly got taken down to the wire. And it'll be an interesting week of practice for Eden Prairie as they have their homecoming game, I should say, coming up next week against another very talented squad in Osseo that made it to the state tournament and got all the way to the Metrodome in the state semifinals, I do believe. So they'll be facing another very tough team like this Eastview Lightning squad next week, and some things to work on, and it'll be interesting to see what kind of adjustments Mike Grant's team makes. Yeah,
for certain, playing against those overmatched squads the last couple weeks, or last couple games in the last about 9 days. Didn't see a whole lot of the first team defense, so not getting the same repetition, obviously, as you indicated, and as it might be apparent to you viewers as well, not getting the same level of competition or talent going up against this defense. So just without the repetition, maybe taken a little bit off guard or taken by surprise. So Not saying that they have things to be worried about, but at the same time, plenty to work on as well. It was a fun matchup and performance here tonight by both sides. What an effort by Tommy Hutzel. If I had to pick a player of the game, I might have to just go ahead and give it to the losing tailback. He had the touchdown pass, was dynamic in the backfields, extending drives, even on long after penalized, false starts, long down and distance situations, able to pick up big chunks of yards, finished with 28 carries for 151 yards. Not sure the last time Eden Prairie gave up 150 yards to an individual rusher in a game. It's been quite some time, also almost 2 years since they had an outcome as close as this one as well. The final score again 19-15. So Hutzel, our player of the game, just a great effort by the defense of the Eastview Lightning in containing a pretty high-powered running attack. And the Eagles, they were still able to get it done on the ground and ultimately persevere for their 20th straight victory. But man, it was a tight one, it was a tough one, and most of all, it was enjoyable as well with this very close final outcome. I'm Kevin Ford, alongside me, Brett Johnson, on camera, Krister Woodley, and we'd like to thank all of our sponsors as well as you for tuning in to this coverage of PSB Media and high school football. Eden Prairie wins over Eastview 19-15. Have a good night and weekend.
Thanks for tuning in to live, local, play-by-play coverage of tonight's game. Catch all the action all season long on your home for Southwest Metro Sports, PSB Media. Tonight's game was brought to you by The Mulch Store, Umbria Gourmet Pizzeria, Athlete PT, Noodles & Company of Eden Prairie, The Sun Current, The Tavern on 4 and 5, and in partnership with Minnesota Football Magazine, The Pioneer Press, and BEC TV. You can find an archived broadcast of tonight's game available 24/7 on psbmn.com.